Welcome back to Aditya Automation Techniques. We'll be continuing our Git lectures. So let's go through a quick review of what we have already done. So we looked into how to install Git, how to use our local projects and use the Git tool to convert the existing projects into a Git repository, how to do the indexing, committing, and adding of the files into our Git repository. So today we are going forward towards committing into branches and then merging different branches all together to the main branch. Before I go with the today's lecture, if you guys have followed my previous videos as you can see on the screen, and if you have faced any difficulties or you have any other difficulties while working with Git, do let me know in the comment or in the email or in the WhatsApp link that I've shared with the in the description, and I shall be making a video on that difficulty of yours, or I'll be providing the solution in the comment itself. Yeah, let's begin. So today I'll be making a fresh project folder so that we have a quick recall on what we were doing in the last video. Let's take few files, framework, and just test case one. Okay. Now, as you can see, this project is not a Git repository as we are not seeing that .git folder over here. We're gonna make it a Git repository. So for that, we'll go to the command prompt and we'll type the command git. Yeah, now you can see a Git repository has been initialized in our project folder. Now we'll add this. Let's do the status first. We have these two files tracked. Untracked files in our Git repository. So we'll add them first. So git add dot with add all the commands, all the files to the Git repository. Now we will commit it with a message. We'll do a git status of So we are on branch master, and the working tree is clean. That means there is nothing updated after the last commit. Okay. So now let's first understand what is the branching here in Git. For that I'll make use of this picture. So basically the branch is a timeline, and it represents the what you can say is yeah, it's a pointer to the last commit that you have made. But in layman terms, what I'll say is, so suppose this point is the first commit that you have made, and let's say we never went for any branching. So this straight flow is going to be our master branch, and technically speaking, and our master branch is supposed to be error free. So suppose later on while coding you come up with some different scenario, or you want to try something different which you are not sure is going to work or not. So in that case you don't want to do something devastating in your master branch. For in that case, what you'll do, you'll create a branch or a subtree or sub branch, which is gonna have all the changes which you have done at the point of branching, which is here. And going forward from that point, whatever changes that you do will stay on this branch and won't gonna affect the main branch. So that is why the branching comes into picture. So it lets you try anything of your own, which you want to be there but don't want to hamper the flow of the main branch. So that's why we do branching. And when we are sure that the whatever we have done is error free or is ready to be committed on the main branch, you want it to be accessed by all the other people, so you merge the branch which you have created with the main branch or any other branches, so that it can move to the main workflow. Now there can be branches inside branches as well, as you can see here. So for now let's stick with the creation of one branch, and then making some changes in the master branch as well as the another branch, and then merging those changes back together. Okay, so for that, let's uh, yeah, so here you see right now we are on branch master. Let's create one more branch, git branch. So the command is get, then the branch command that will tell you that we are going to create a branch, and then the name of it. So we are going to name it um, devastation. Okay, now if you see we are still on branch master, so we don't know whether that branch has got created successfully yet or not. So for that we have to do the command git checkout and then the branch name devastation. Yeah, so it's telling we have switched to the branch devastation. Now let's see the status of this branch. Sorry. Yeah, so on this branch we don't have anything to commit and we are on a clean directory. Now let's see how many files are present in this working tree that we have just created. For that we do git ls files. Okay, so we have these two files with us in this. I'm gonna explain how this file comes here, but for now let's create one more file, and we are going to keep this in the branch. So I'll name it as um, file branch 1. Now we'll go back here, we will do a git status, and we got the file which is untracked. We're gonna add this and commit it also, adding file to branch. Okay, we'll check the status, it's clean, and we'll do git ls files. Okay, so now we have our newly updated file in the branch devastation. Now let's go back to the master branch and see whether its file is there or not. Okay, so we don't have that file. This, where is that? Yeah, that file we don't have here. Now I'm gonna show you something. Let's check out master. Sorry. We are on master, and you see here we have two files. There is no third file that we have just created. We'll go back, git check out this station, and see that third file comes up, but the location doesn't change. So our location is constant. So that's how, and these all things are being done inside this. So basically this is how the inside this folder is the whole logic of how Git keep tracks of all your files. So basically a branch is nothing but a different copy of your project having the files which you have committed while you are on that particular branch. So since we are on devastation now and we have committed this file when we were on this branch, we are able to see only on this branch and not on the master branch. But when in the beginning, if you have seen that when we created the branch, these two files were already there, but we never committed these two files when we were on branch master. Branch master comes out from the sorry, branch devastation comes out of the master branch. So whatever files which were there on the master branch will automatically gets copied to the sub branch, that is devastation branch of ours. And that's why these two files were there in the devastation branch, but the file that we have created when we were in devastation branch is not there when we go for the master branch. Now we are going to see how we can merge it. Now we have two branches. One is our master branch and one is devastation. Now, when I said that whenever we create a branch, it is going to create a copy of your project. So when we created this branch devastation, it has already the two files which were there on the master, that is framework and test case. But you can say that this is a copy of your master branch, but the thing is, all the modifications that you will make in the devastation branch is going to stick with the devastation branch. It won't be acting as a copy of your master branch. It will be a separate repository altogether. So if let's say you checked out your master branch, so there you will get these two files. Get okay. So here we have these two files. So if we make any modifications in these two files, when we are in this master branch, the modifications are gonna stick on the master branch itself. It won't reflect in the devastation branch of yours. And similarly, if you're gonna make any changes in the devastation branch, whether it's framework, test case, or the third file that we have created, these changes gonna stick in the devastation branch itself. It won't get reflected in the master branch. So now let's say we are comfortable enough to merge this new file of ours. Like we have seen that the new file that we have just created is not going to impact the workflow of the master branch. So we want all the changes to come together, and we don't want a separate branch anymore. So first we are going to see how we are going to merge it. बोलो.
बेसिकली स्टार्टिंग में वही होती है।
हम्म.
बेसिकली स्टार्टिंग में तो वही होता है कि जैसे हम एक नया ब्रांच बनाए तो मेन ब्रांच में कॉपी आ गया, उसमें हम जो चेंजेस करना चाहते हैं
हाँ.
करते हैं, बग वो
हम्म.
बस
ठीक है. और हमें क्या करना है?
अब तुम बताने वाला था मर्ज कैसे अगर मेरा चेंज हो गया।
डिफरेंस भी कुछ था, करके हम देख लेते हैं. ठीक है. git show. This git show command, like we have that commands we have seen, no, git ls files, that is going to tell us what files are there in the folder, and we use that to check what our files are there in which branch. But what if we want to check like how many files, I mean what's the difference between the master branch and any other branch? So for that we can use this git show. But git show will only reflect the changes which has been done in the last commit. Since our last commit only was the initial commit, it's showing us these two. Actually git show is nothing but a detailed status of the last commit. To check what is the difference between the two branches, we will use the command git diff name, then master. This is your first branch, and then the second branch. Now this can be any two. Here also you can give devastation, here also you can give master. So basically you are giving out the name of two branches between which you want to see the difference. See, so this returned us a value or a message having the difference between these two branches. So there is only one file, this file branch one, which is in devastation but not in master. So it's being shown as the difference between the two branches. Now let's go with the merging of the branch. Just like the difference, the command to merge is also same, git merge branch name. Okay, so like the file that we have just modified, git recognize that the changes in that file is, I mean, doesn't have any conflicts and can be fast forward. There are other kinds of merges as well, but mostly we are going to see the fast forward merge only. So git tells us that we can do a fast forward merge, and git has directly done it. It's telling that this file has been merged and there is only one file change with 0 insertions, 0 deletions. Now we will go to each branch and we'll see whether this file reflects there or not. First check out master, because in devastation this file is already there. Now we are on master. We'll do a git status clean and then git ls. Okay, so now you can see that our branch file is getting reflected here also. So that's how we create a branch whenever we want to develop something that we don't want to get reflected in our current working workspace. And whenever we are sure that we can merge them, we will do a merge. Now the merging doesn't always happens this successfully, like fast forward. There can be times like your in your master branch, suppose two persons are working simultaneously. So in your master branch these files were there. We have seen that the framework was there in the master as well as on the devastation also. So some, let's say your colleague was working on the framework in the master branch and you created one branch of yours because you want to do something different. But when you try to merge, let's say both of you guys have made some modifications in the same line, so that time git will prompt you that you can't merge them, right? Because that's nothing but a git conflict. So all the git conflicts has to be resolved first before git allows you to do a merge. So by resolving, there can be some different methods, but the most common is git will prompt you with the modifications, the modification that has been done in the master and the modifications that you yourself did in your second branch, that is the devastation branch. So that time you have to figure out which modification you want to keep and which you don't want to keep. And the one that you don't want, git will delete it and allow you to proceed with the merge. There has been one question about the convention of writing this statement. So the first thing is, master branch has just been called master by convention. There is no such thing that this is a master branch and the rest of the branches are sub branches. But each, I mean, even the master branch is a branch, right? So all the branches that you create is itself a branch. So here you can write devastation and here you can write master. That's going to work just fine. Or else if you have two sub branches only, then you can keep them as well. But the master branch, by convention we call it to that branch which has been present there since the beginning of your repository and will have technically or with the standards, it should have all the codes, all the files which are 100% you know, the failure proof or 100% um, unmodified or working fine files, the files that you want to keep, that has been checked for all the errors and everything like that. So that those files we're going to keep on master branch. And whatever else, if multiple persons are working on same repository, then each one should create a branch of their own and do the changes there. And then when they are confident enough that those changes won't impact the changes of which are already changes which has been done in the master branch, then they can merge it. Okay, so that's all with the branching and merging. Now I'm gonna tell you what all topics can be covered and what all are pending. So there is a concept of remote which comes into picture when we will see in GitHub. GitHub is basically a tool that implement UI that implements Git. So not going into that now, but the remote push pull, all these things are pending. So we are going to cover these once we start with GitHub. Apart from these we have um manage. Yeah, so yeah, so that's all with the concept of branching and merging. There are still so many topics that we haven't covered, and few of them we'll be covering, uh, which includes remote repository concept that will again pull into picture the concept of creating a remote, pulling, pushing, merging, fetching. And there are other things also like forking of repository, and you know, committing, going looking into a particular commit id, how to revert back the changes with respect to a particular commit id. So few of them like forking and all skip, and the others we are going to see when we go for the GitHub, because this comes into picture when we are talking about the cloud repository and not into the local repository. So this covers the most of the part that you are going to working on when you are using the Git in your local. But still, if you want anything else, you can always comment, or you can text in the WhatsApp group or email me, whatever, and we'll try to make a video on that. Yeah, so if you haven't checked my previous videos, please go and check them out. Please subscribe, and if you have liked the contents of the video, please click on the like button and press on the notification bell as well to receive notifications about the further videos that I'll be making on DevOps technology. And yeah, if you have any problems, I'm telling you again, you can always comment it out, and I'll try to either give a solution of that.